Chapter 1. The Wilted Sunflower. The morning mist clung stubbornly to the cobblestone streets, blurring the edges of the world Alice navigated. Her steps echoed in the quiet, a lonely rhythm against the backdrop of a city still slumbering. Her usual vibrant spirit felt muted, mirroring the wilted sunflower clutched tightly in her hand. Its once proud golden head drooped, the bright petals curled inwards like a sad smile. Alice wasn't sure when the sunflower became a constant companion, or when its decline mirrored her own. Perhaps it began with the dusty, closed sign hanging limply on the bakery door. Her haven for years, its aroma a comforting melody in her daily routine. Now, the once inviting display window held only stale pastries, a stark reminder of dreams turned sour. She continued her walk, the sunflower's limp form a stark contrast to the vibrant murals adorning the aged buildings. A kaleidoscope of color depicted fantastical creatures and whimsical scenes, each stroke a testament to the forgotten magic Alice had once craved to capture in her own art. But her palette, once alive with vibrant hues, lay forgotten in a corner of her tiny apartment, gathering dust along with her inspiration. Alice found herself drawn to an unfamiliar part of town, a maze of narrow streets lined with weathered shops. A sudden gust of wind sent the wilted sunflower tumbling from her grasp. It landed at the feet of a man emerging from a quaint storefront, its chipped paint and faded sign barely visible. He stooped to pick it up, his brow furrowing as his gaze met the wilted flower. Unlike the vibrant graffiti, his clothes were muted, a worn brown coat draped over a simple white shirt. Yet, there was a quiet intensity in his eyes, a spark of something that resonated with a forgotten part of Alice. He held out the sunflower, his hand calloused yet gentle. Alice's fingers brushed his as she retrieved the flower, a warmth spreading from that brief contact. A shy smile flickered across her lips, the first in weeks. The man wasn't handsome in the traditional sense, but there was a quiet strength in his features, a hint of a hidden fire. As if sensing her curiosity, the man gestured towards his shop. Hesitantly, Alice followed, the wilted sunflower a fragile bridge between their worlds. The dusty bell above the door chimed as they entered, and Alice's breath hitched. The air hummed with a forgotten energy, the scent of oil paints and turpentine filling her lungs with an intoxicating familiarity. Sunlight streamed through dusty windows, illuminating rows of canvases stacked against the wall. Each held a different world, landscapes bathed in golden light, portraits capturing the essence of a soul, and vibrant, still lives bursting with color. It was a forgotten language Alice once spoke fluently, and a pang of longing echoed in her chest. The man, sensing her fascination, moved deeper into the shop, a finger tracing the edge of a half-finished landscape. The sky was a canvas of swirling blues and purples, a storm brewing on the horizon. But beneath the impending darkness, a lone sunflower stood tall, its golden face defiant against the gathering storm. Alice's gaze lingered on the sunflower, its resilience a mirror to the flicker of hope igniting within her. The day had begun with a wilted flower, but something about this dusty corner, this quiet man, and the forgotten language of colors whispered a promise of a brighter tomorrow. Chapter 2. The Dusty Palette. The man, whose name Alice still didn't know, gestured towards a worn wooden table in the corner. Sunlight slanted through the dusty window, illuminating the surface where a palette lay abandoned. Layers of dried paint caked the once vibrant colors, transforming them into a muted canvas of their own. Alice's fingers hovered over the palette, a tremor of fear battling with the awakening spark within her. It had been so long since she dared to touch the tools of her passion, the fear of failure thicker than the dust coating the surface. She stole a glance at the man, his gaze warm and understanding. With a gentle nod, he handed her a small brush, its bristles dusty but intact. Tentatively, Alice dipped the brush into a well of ochre, the pigment catching the sunlight in a fleeting shimmer. She hesitated again, the weight of the blank canvas on the easel before her daunting. Then, remembering the sunflower, a single stroke found its way onto the white surface. It was hesitant, a thin line lacking confidence, yet a start nonetheless. Another stroke followed, then another, hesitant at first, then gaining a hesitant rhythm. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the studio. Time seemed to melt away, the world outside the dusty window fading into a distant hum. Lost in her creation, Alice rediscovered the language of colors. Her brush sang of the sunflower, of the way the sun kissed its golden petals, of the defiance in its stance against the wind. Layers built upon layers, the ochre morphing into a vibrant yellow, capturing the essence of the wilted flower's former glory. As dusk deepened, the room plunged into a soft twilight. Exhausted but exhilarated, Alice stepped back to survey her work. The sunflower stood tall on the canvas, no longer wilted but bathed in the warm glow of a setting sun. It wasn't perfect, but it held a spark of life, a reflection of the flicker rekindled within her own heart. The man stood beside her, his silence a form of appreciation. A smile played on his lips, crinkling the corners of his eyes, and Alice felt a familiar warmth bloom in her chest. He picked up another brush, the ochre paint staining his fingertips. With a gentle touch, he added a stroke of cerulean blue to the background, a hint of a clear sky peeking through the clouds. That single stroke seemed to complete the painting, a silent conversation between their brushes. In that shared moment, under the fading light, a connection blossomed. It wasn't a declaration, but a promise whispered in the language of colors, a promise of a journey begun, of a dusty palette reborn. Chapter 3: The Crumbling Bakery. The scent of stale bread and forgotten dreams lingered in the air as Alice stood outside the bakery, its closed sign a stark reminder of her own artistic slumber. But with the sunflower painting tucked under her arm, a newfound audacity sparked in her eyes. She took a deep breath and pushed open the creaking door. Dust motes danced in the pale sunlight filtering through the grimy windows. The display shelves were bare, the once inviting aroma replaced by a stale silence. But Alice didn't see decay. She saw a canvas, a story waiting to be told. With a newfound determination, she rolled up her sleeves. Days turned into weeks, the rhythmic clinking of tools echoing through the empty bakery. Alice scrubbed, sanded, and repaired, transforming the neglected space into a symphony of reclaimed wood and exposed brick. Her painting, the sunflower bathed in golden light, found a place of honor on the newly painted wall, a symbol of hope and rebirth. The bakery shelves, once empty, began to fill with vibrant creations. Gone were the stale pastries. In their place, Alice meticulously arranged an array of hand-decorated cookies, each a tiny masterpiece. Flowers, swirling patterns, and whimsical creatures adorned the sugar cookies, their colors a vibrant echo of her rediscovered passion. She baked miniature versions of the sunflower, its golden face a beacon of resilience. The air, once filled with the scent of neglect, now held the sweet aroma of vanilla and creativity. One sunny afternoon, as the last of the cookies were arranged on the display rack, a familiar figure appeared in the doorway. The man from the art studio, his brow furrowed in surprise. His gaze swept over the transformed space, taking in the vibrant cookies and the sunflower painting. Alice's heart skipped a beat. Had she been too bold? But a smile tugged at the corner of his lips as his eyes met hers. He gestured towards a sunflower cookie, its cheerful yellow face radiating warmth. Alice, emboldened, picked one up and held it out to him. The man hesitated for a moment, then a smile mirroring hers spread across his face. He reached out, his fingers brushing against hers as he took the cookie. Their connection, forged in the dusty studio, crackled in the air. The bakery door chimed as the man stepped back outside, holding the sunflower cookie like a precious treasure. Alice watched him leave, a seed of hope blossoming within her. Perhaps, like her bakery, her heart was finally ready to reopen, ready to be filled with the sweetness of new beginnings. Chapter 4: The Raindrop Cafe. The rhythmic drumming of raindrops against the window pane provided a melancholic soundtrack to Alice's walk. The once vibrant city streets were now slick with rain, blurring the world into a canvas of grays and blues. Yet, despite the downpour, a sense of anticipation thrummed within her. In her hand, a freshly baked blueberry muffin, heavy with the promise of sweet comfort, mirrored the churning emotions in her chest. She was heading to the Raindrop Cafe, a name that resonated with the mood of the day, a haven she'd frequented years ago for its warm ambience and rich coffee. Today, however, her purpose went beyond a simple caffeine fix. Armed with a portfolio containing her sunflower painting and a selection of photos featuring her intricately decorated cookies, Alice hoped to find a space to showcase her work. The cafe, nestled in a quiet corner with its rain-streaked windows, appeared smaller than Alice remembered. But the warm glow emanating from within, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and cinnamon rolls, was an irresistible welcome. A bell chimed softly as she pushed open the door, a symphony of chattering voices and the gentle hiss of the espresso machine replacing the rain's melancholic song. The cafe was a haven of warmth and comfort. Mismatched furniture, adorned with well-worn cushions, offered a sense of cozy familiarity. Steam rose from mugs cradled in patrons' hands, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of fairy lights strung across the ceiling. A woman with a shock of red hair and a warm smile greeted Alice from behind the counter. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity as Alice explained her purpose. She listened intently as Alice hesitantly presented her portfolio, the blueberry muffin clutched tightly in her other hand. The woman's smile widened as she examined the sunflower painting. Her gaze lingered on the defiant bloom, a hint of understanding flickering in her eyes. Then, she flipped through the photos, her fingers lingering on the intricate designs of the cookies. A slow nod confirmed Alice's rising hope. With a gesture towards a cozy corner nestled under a window, the woman offered Alice a space to display her wares. A surge of gratitude flooded Alice's heart, mixing with the sweet scent of cinnamon emanating from a tray of freshly baked rolls. As Alice carefully arranged a selection of cookies on a vintage tea stand, sunlight peeked through the parting clouds, casting a warm glow on the cafe. Raindrops still clung to the windows, but outside, a rainbow bloomed across the sky, its vibrant colors mirroring the resurgence of hope within Alice. The bell above the door chimed again, and a familiar figure entered the cafe. The man from the art studio, a slight sheen of rain on his coat, seemed surprised to see Alice. But a smile, as warm as the cinnamon rolls, spread across his face. Their eyes met, a silent conversation passing between them. As he approached the counter, his gaze fell upon the display of cookies. A hand reached out, a silent nod towards the sunflower cookie. The woman, with a knowing smile, handed it to him. In that small, rain-soaked cafe, amidst the aroma of coffee and cinnamon, Alice's journey of rediscovery took another step forward. The Raindrop Cafe, a haven of warmth and chance encounters, promised to be the first stop on a path filled with the sweetness of shared dreams and the vibrant colors of a newfound purpose. Chapter 5. The Forgotten Fairy Tale. The man, whose name Alice still hadn't learned, followed her gaze as it drifted towards the dusty bookstore nestled amidst a row of antique shops. A faded sign above the door proclaimed it the Forgotten Fairy Tale, its peeling paint a testament to stories untold and dreams left behind. Hesitantly, Alice pushed open the creaking door, a wave of musty air and the scent of aged paper washing over her. The shop was a labyrinth of towering shelves crammed with books, their spines faded and worn like the memories they held. Sunlight slanted through a stained glass window, casting colorful patterns on the dusty floor. A hush fell over them as they stepped inside. Alice, her fingers trailing along the spines of forgotten novels and leather-bound collections of fairy tales, felt a sense of belonging she hadn't experienced in years. Here, amidst the forgotten stories, a spark of inspiration ignited. Pulling out a worn volume of Grimm's fairy tales, she flipped through the pages, the fantastical illustrations sparking a forgotten fire. She envisioned vibrant colors bringing these characters to life, breathing new life into the faded ink on the pages. A sudden cough startled her. The man stood beside her, holding a thick, leather-bound book. Its cover depicted a lone knight embarking on a quest, his path shrouded in mist. He gestured towards Alice's book, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. Together, they wandered through the labyrinthine shelves, each finding stories that resonated with their souls. Alice selected a collection of classic poems, their words holding the power to evoke emotions with their raw beauty. The man picked out books on art history, the vibrant reproductions igniting a shared passion for color and composition. As the afternoon sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the bookstore, they sat nestled in a cozy corner. Alice, inspired by the forgotten fairy tales, began sketching in a dusty notebook. The man, with a gentle smile, retrieved a canvas and paints from his bag. In comfortable silence, they created. Alice's brushstrokes danced with newfound confidence, weaving a tale of a brave princess defying expectations, her gown shimmering with vibrant hues. The man's canvas depicted a solitary lighthouse against a stormy sky, its beacon a symbol of unwavering hope. As the last sliver of daylight faded, they shared their creations, a silent conversation unfolding between brushstrokes. In Alice's princess, the man saw a reflection of her own strength and resilience. In his lighthouse, Alice saw a symbol of the unwavering support he offered, guiding her through the storms of self-doubt. Leaving the bookstore, a sense of completion settled over them. They stood under a sky sprinkled with stars, the forgotten stories whispering unseen tales around them. In that quiet moment, Alice knew this wasn't just about rediscovering art. It was about rediscovering a connection, a shared passion that promised to rewrite their own forgotten fairy tale. Chapter 6: The Borrowed Canvas. The following morning, Alice woke with a renewed sense of purpose. The forgotten stories lingered in her mind, whispers of fantastical creatures and brave heroes urging her brush to dance across the canvas. But a single obstacle stood in her way: the lack of proper supplies. Hesitantly, she ventured towards the art studio, a flutter of nerves in her stomach. The storefront looked even more inviting in the morning sunlight, the promise of creation hanging heavy in the air. With a deep breath, she pushed open the door. The man, his brow furrowed in surprise at first sight of her, quickly schooled his expression into a warm smile. He gestured towards a chair, and Alice, heart pounding, explained her predicament. He listened patiently, his gaze softening as she confessed her limited supplies. A slow smile spread across his face, crinkling the corners of his eyes. He disappeared into a back room, returning with a worn canvas bag slung over his shoulder. He emptied the contents onto the wooden table, a treasure trove of art supplies tumbling out, brushes of all sizes, tubes of paint in every shade imaginable, and a well-worn palette, its surface a testament to countless creations. Alice's breath caught in her throat. These were his tools, his voice in the language of colors. But with a gentle gesture, the man offered them to her. A mix of surprise and gratitude flooded her as she hesitantly reached out, her fingers brushing against his as she picked up a brush. The morning sun streamed through the dusty window, illuminating the studio in a warm glow. Alice, armed with borrowed tools and newfound confidence, dipped the brush into a pool of vibrant blue. Her first stroke landed on the canvas, a whisper of a sky that stretched on forever. The man, a silent encouragement in his presence, settled at his own easel. In comfortable silence, they painted, their strokes a conversation in shades and textures. Alice's borrowed canvas filled with a fantastical landscape, a swirling vortex of clouds, and a hidden castle perched on a mountain peak. The day flew by in a flurry of creation. Alice, fueled by the borrowed supplies and the quiet companionship, lost herself in the world she was creating. Every stroke felt more confident, every color a melody sung by her brush. As the last rays of sunlight faded, casting long shadows across the studio, Alice stepped back to survey her work. The borrowed canvas, no longer bare, held a story waiting to be told. A wave of pride washed over her, mixed with a deep sense of gratitude towards the man who had provided her with the tools to rediscover her voice. He stood beside her, a hint of admiration in his eyes. With a borrowed brush, he added a single stroke of gold to the peak of the hidden castle, a beacon of hope in the fantastical landscape. Together, they had created a world, a testament to the power of shared passion and the generosity that fueled a creative rebirth. Chapter 7: The Colors of Laughter. The rhythmic beat of music drifted through the open window of the art studio, a welcome change from the usual quiet symphony of brushes against canvas. A playful smile tugged at the corner of Alice's lips as she dipped her brush into a vibrant red, the bold color a stark contrast to the soft blues and purples already adorning the canvas. Today, inspiration came not from forgotten fairy tales, but from the cheerful melody emanating from a street festival happening down the block. The sounds of laughter, music, and joyous chatter sparked a desire for a more whimsical approach. With a flourish, Alice painted a dancing jester, his crimson outfit a burst of energy against the pastel background. The jester's smile was wide, his eyes crinkled with laughter, and his entire form conveyed a sense of pure joy. A glance across the room revealed the man, his brow furrowed in concentration. His canvas, however, held no trace of seriousness. A vibrant carousel spun in the center, its brightly colored horses adorned with fantastical patterns. Tiny figures, faces filled with delight, held onto the brass poles as the carousel whirled. They worked in comfortable silence, their laughter now a shared melody with the approaching festival. Alice added musicians to her scene, their instruments a symphony of colorful shapes. The man painted a mischievous monkey swinging from the carousel's roof, its playful grin mirroring the light-hearted mood. As the afternoon sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with streaks of orange and purple, they both stepped back, their artwork echoing the sounds of the festival. Alice's canvas pulsed with vibrant energy, the colors singing a song of joy and laughter. The man's carousel, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, captured the magic of childhood wonder. Together, their works were a testament to the transformative power of laughter, its ability to paint the world in brighter hues and chase away the shadows of self-doubt. A soft chuckle escaped Alice's lips, and for the first time since they met, the man's reserved demeanor cracked. A genuine laugh filled the studio, a warm sound that reverberated through the room like a welcome melody. He took a hesitant step towards her, his eyes reflecting the joy that radiated from their creations. In that shared moment of laughter, sparked by the colors they had brought to life, a spark of something new ignited. The walls of the dusty studio seemed to recede, replaced by the endless possibilities that unfolded before them, painted in vibrant colors of hope, friendship, and a shared passion for the language of art. Chapter 8. The First Brushstroke. Weeks turned into months, the summer sun painting the sky with vibrant hues mirrored in Alice's newfound confidence. The walls of the dusty studio, once bare and lonely, now blossomed with a symphony of color. Alice, her borrowed supplies long replaced with her own, no longer hesitated before taking that first stroke. Her brush danced across the canvas, weaving stories of fantastical creatures and whimsical landscapes. Each creation held a piece of her journey, the sunflower's resilience, the forgotten fairy tales' hidden magic, and the joy-filled melodies of laughter. But one canvas remained untouched, a stark white rectangle amidst the colorful symphony. It was a large canvas, dwarfing the others, and the blank space seemed to challenge Alice, whispering doubts about her abilities. The man, ever observant, watched her struggle. He understood the weight of the blank canvas, the fear of failure that threatened to paralyze. He picked up a brush, dipped it in a pool of cerulean blue, and walked towards the intimidating canvas. With a gentle smile, he held out the brush to Alice. Hesitantly, she reached out, her fingers brushing against his as she took the tool. He offered a silent encouragement, his gaze warm and steady. Taking a deep breath, Alice dipped the brush into the blue paint, its vibrant color a stark contrast to the white surface. Her hand trembled slightly, the weight of the first stroke settling on her shoulders. Then, with a newfound resolve, she brought the brush to the canvas. The first stroke was a hesitant line, a single whisper of blue against the vast white expanse, but it was a start. Another stroke followed, then another, building upon the first. Alice, fueled by the man's silent support, lost herself in the process. Hours melted away as she built layers of color, capturing the essence of a vibrant cityscape bathed in the golden light of dawn. The buildings, a kaleidoscope of shapes and textures, seemed to rise from the canvas, their windows glowing with a warm light. As the last rays of the setting sun cast long shadows across the studio, Alice finally stepped back, Exhausted but exhilarated, she surveyed her work. The large canvas was no longer blank. It held a bustling city, pulsating with life and possibility. The man stood beside her, his eyes reflecting the city's golden glow. He reached out, a single finger tracing the curve of a rooftop. A silent understanding passed between them. This wasn't just a cityscape. It was a metaphor for their journey. The blank canvas had represented her fear, the daunting unknown. But with each stroke, with his unwavering support, she had built something remarkable, a testament to the power of shared passion and the courage to take that first step. Their connection, forged in the dusty studio, had blossomed into a creative partnership, a city of dreams built brushstroke by brushstroke. Chapter 9. The Language of Flowers. The crisp autumn air swirled with fallen leaves, carrying with it the scent of change and new beginnings. Alice, a basket overflowing with vibrant blooms, walked with a newfound lightness in her step. Today, the Raindrop Cafe wasn't her destination. It was the stage for a silent conversation in the language of flowers. Over the past few months, a wordless understanding had blossomed between her and the man. They communicated through shared passions, stolen glances, and the stories they wove on canvas. But today, Alice wanted to speak a different language, one he might understand without a single spoken word. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee and cinnamon rolls filled the air as she entered the cafe. The woman with the shock of red hair greeted her with a warm smile, her gaze immediately drawn to the colorful blooms in the basket. Alice selected a vibrant bouquet, its composition a story waiting to be told. Sunflowers, their golden faces reflecting the warmth of their shared journey, stood tall in the center. Delicate pink roses, symbolizing gratitude and appreciation, nestled beside them. A single bluebell, whispering a promise of constancy, peeked out from behind. The cafe owner's smile widened. With a knowing nod, she placed the bouquet in a vintage vase, its colors a beacon of cheer amidst the warm browns and reds of the cafe's interior. A few hours later, the familiar figure of the man appeared through the rain-streaked window. A jolt of excitement ran through Alice, and her fingers unconsciously twirled a stray sunflower petal. He caught her gaze, a hint of surprise followed by a smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. He approached the counter, his gaze landing on the vibrant bouquet. As his eyes met each flower, a flicker of understanding washed over his face. The sunflowers mirrored the resilience Alice had shown in rediscovering her passion. The pink roses echoed the gratitude he felt for her presence in his life. And the bluebell, a silent promise of his unwavering support. A blush crept up Alice's cheeks as he reached out, his hand hovering over a single pink rose. Hesitantly, he picked it up, the soft petals brushing against his fingertips. He then met her gaze, a silent "thank you" reflected in his warm brown eyes. In that small cafe, amidst the murmur of conversations and the aroma of coffee, a new chapter unfolded in their story. Words were unnecessary. The language of flowers had spoken volumes. The bouquet, a vibrant conversation piece, would forever be a reminder of the day they spoke their hearts out, petal by silent petal. Chapter 10. The Healing Hues. Winter's icy grip tightened around the city, blanketing the streets in a pristine white. Yet, within the warmth of the art studio, a different kind of warmth bloomed. Alice and the man, their arms laden with canvases, moved with a practiced rhythm, arranging their work for an upcoming exhibition. The walls, once bare and lonely, were now a vibrant tapestry. Alice's paintings, infused with renewed confidence, sang of resilience and joy. Sunflowers, a recurring theme, stood tall in fields of vibrant purple and blue, a testament to overcoming darkness. Whimsical creatures danced across canvases, their playful antics echoing the laughter that now filled the studio. The man's paintings, once shrouded in a melancholic palette, had transformed. Landscapes bathed in golden light, reminiscent of new beginnings, dominated his wall. A solitary lighthouse, a symbol of unwavering hope, stood tall against a stormy sea. Each brushstroke held a newfound confidence, a reflection of the healing power of shared creativity. Sunlight streamed through the dusty window, casting a warm glow on their creations. As they moved around the room, their hands occasionally brushed, a silent language passing between them, a language forged in shared passions and a deep understanding of each other's souls. Suddenly, Alice stopped before one of the man's earlier paintings. It was the stormy landscape with the lone, struggling sunflower, a stark contrast to the vibrant works that surrounded it. A pang of empathy tugged at her heart, a reminder of the struggles that had brought them together. Reaching out, she picked up a brush dipped in a warm yellow paint. With a gentle touch, she added a single stroke of sunlight peeking through the clouds, illuminating the wilting sunflower. The man watched her, a soft smile gracing his lips. When she stepped back, the painting had been transformed. The lone sunflower, bathed in a sliver of sunlight, no longer seemed threatened by the storm. It held a newfound resilience, a quiet hope, like a flower pushing through cracked pavement. In that shared moment, they understood. Their art wasn't just about creating. It was about healing. Their brushstrokes, like gentle caresses, soothed the scars of their past, painting a future filled with vibrant hues. Together, they were a testament to the transformative power of art, a silent symphony of colors that healed not only their own hearts, but promised to touch the lives of those who would witness their creations. Chapter 11. The Grand Unveiling. The night air buzzed with anticipation as Alice stood outside the gallery, her heart pounding a nervous rhythm against her ribs. The once abandoned building, now bathed in warm light, thrummed with the energy of excited patrons. Tonight was the culmination of months of shared work, the grand unveiling of their first joint art exhibition. A gentle touch on her arm startled her. The man, a nervous smile replacing his usual stoicism, stood beside her. He offered her a small sunflower, its golden face mirroring the nervous excitement in his eyes. Alice accepted the flower, its warmth a silent reassurance in her trembling hand. Together, they walked into the gallery, a wave of vibrant colors washing over them. Their paintings, carefully arranged, filled the room with a captivating energy. Alice's sunflowers, now a vibrant symbol of hope, stood tall beside the man's landscapes bathed in warm light. The crowd, a diverse mix of art enthusiasts and curious onlookers, moved through the gallery, their murmurs a symphony of appreciation and wonder. A child, his eyes wide with awe, pointed at a playful creature in one of Alice's paintings. A couple, their fingers intertwined, stood before a landscape, lost in a conversation whispered by the soft brushstrokes. A woman with tear-filled eyes stopped before the painting of the lone sunflower bathed in sunlight. Alice's heart ached for her, recognizing in those eyes a reflection of her own past struggles. But instead of despair, the painting offered hope, a testament to resilience in the face of darkness. As the night wore on, the gallery buzzed with life. Alice and the man, their initial nerves replaced by a quiet pride, stood by their creations, their eyes meeting in a silent conversation. They had not only rediscovered their own artistic voices, but in doing so, had created a world where hope, joy, and resilience bloomed in vibrant color. The last guests left, the gallery settling into a comfortable silence. Alice, exhausted yet exhilarated, walked hand in hand with the man through the now empty space. They stopped before their favorite painting, the cityscape bathed in the golden light of dawn. The canvas, a metaphor for their journey, held a new meaning tonight. It wasn't just a city. It was a testament to the creative spark they had ignited in each other. With each brushstroke, they had built a shared dream, a vibrant cityscape bustling with hope and possibility. In the quiet of the gallery, under the soft glow of the remaining lights, Alice leaned in, their foreheads touching. A silent thank you hung in the air, a shared gratitude for the journey they had taken together. The grand unveiling wasn't just about their art. It was the unveiling of a connection, a love story whispered in vibrant hues. Chapter 12. A Symphony of Colors. Spring had painted the city in a palette of soft greens and pale pinks. Sunlight streamed through the expansive window of the new studio, illuminating a vibrant dance of colors. Gone were the days of the dusty, cramped space. This open studio, nestled amidst blooming cherry trees, was a testament to their blossoming dreams. Alice, a sunflower tucked behind her ear, her brush a joyful conductor, orchestrated a vibrant symphony on the canvas before her. Her strokes were bolder, infused with a confidence that had bloomed alongside their shared success. Beside her, the man, a smile etched on his face, brought a landscape to life. Rolling hills, dotted with wildflowers, stretched towards a sky awash in the hues of a summer sunset. The once muted palette of his past was replaced by a kaleidoscope of colors, reflecting the joy he found in their partnership. Their ease and comfort with each other were evident in the way they moved around the studio, their hands sometimes brushing, a silent understanding passing between them. They no longer needed words. Their art spoke volumes, a shared language woven from vibrant strokes and whispered emotions. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee drifted in from the small kitchen tucked into a corner. A familiar figure, the woman with the shock of red hair from the Raindrop Cafe, appeared, balancing a tray filled with steaming mugs and warm pastries. She set the tray down with a smile, her gaze lingering on their work. A spark of understanding twinkled in her eyes. She had witnessed their journey from hesitant beginnings to flourishing artists. Alice and the man exchanged a glance, a silent invitation offered. As the woman settled into a comfortable chair, the studio filled with the comfortable hum of conversation and the clinking of cups. They reminisced about the dusty bookstore, the laughter-filled afternoons, and the fear they had each conquered. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the studio, they stood side by side, surveying their work. The room pulsed with vibrant life, a symphony of colors echoing the symphony of their hearts. They had come a long way, each carrying the echo of a withered sunflower. But together, they had discovered the healing power of art, the language of colors, and the unwavering support that allowed them to bloom anew. In this shared space, filled with the scent of spring and the promise of endless inspiration, they looked towards the future, their hands brushing once again. On the blank canvas before them, a single sunflower, its petals catching the last rays of sunlight, awaited their first stroke. It was a promise of a future symphony, a lifetime painted in vibrant hues, a testament to the enduring power of their love story, a story whispered in the language of colors. Chapter 13. The Sunflowers Bloom. Years had painted their hair with streaks of silver, but the fire in their eyes remained undimmed. Sunlight streamed through the window of their sun-drenched studio, illuminating a canvas larger than any they had ever tackled. Alice, hands steady despite the passage of time, meticulously added details to a vibrant field of sunflowers. Each brushstroke held a lifetime of memories, the fear of a blank canvas, the joy of shared laughter, the comfort of unwavering support. Beside her, the man, his gaze reflecting the warmth of the afternoon sun, painted the sky. Bold strokes of orange and purple bled into a soft blue, capturing the fleeting beauty of a summer sunset. It mirrored the journey they had taken, a vibrant past fading into a peaceful tranquility. Their studio, once a testament to blossoming dreams, now held a quiet confidence. Walls adorned with their collected works whispered stories of resilience, joy, and the enduring power of love. In the center, a single canvas stood out, a sunflower reaching towards the sun, its golden face mirroring the strength they had found in each other. A young girl, their granddaughter, skipped into the studio, her eyes wide with wonder. Drawn to the massive canvas, she pointed at the sunflower, its vibrant colors captivating her attention. Alice and the man exchanged a glance, a silent understanding passing between them. They had come full circle, from hesitant artists to seasoned mentors, ready to share the language of colors with a new generation. With gentle hands, Alice placed a brush in the girl's hand, its yellow paint mirroring the sunflower's golden face. The girl, with a mischievous grin, dipped the brush and made a small, hesitant stroke on the canvas. It was a single stroke, a whisper of yellow against the vast expanse, but it held the promise of a new beginning. Alice and the man watched, their hearts brimming with pride, as their granddaughter, the inheritor of their love for art, took her first step into a world filled with vibrant colors and endless possibilities. The sunflower, a symbol of their journey, bloomed not just on the canvas, but in the girls' bright eyes. In that shared moment, bathed in the warm glow of the sun's rays, they knew their legacy wouldn't fade. For the language of colors, the symphony of creation, would forever echo in the hearts of those they touched, a testament to the enduring power of a love story told in vibrant hues.